foolish mortals.
Hello there. Are you insane? Get out of here!
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
Right, off you go.
Welcome to Average Joe Orlando. Hello, theme park goers. Happy Halloween. It is my favorite time of the year and time to talk about my favorite event of the year in today's front row review and advice. I don't know why I named it that because that is a tongue twister, but in today's front row review and advice, we're going to talk about Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Now, Universal's Halloween Horror Nights takes place over at Universal Orlando, Universal Hollywood, Singapore, and Japan. However, for today's episode, we're just going to talk about the Orlando event, as not only is it the biggest and the longest one going on, but this is Average Joe Orlando, so that makes sense. Plus, it's the one I've been to the most, so it's the one I know the most about. I have actually been attending the event since 2011, going every single year. And since the beginning, trying out different tickets. So from the single nights to the Frequent Fear Plus, Express, and this year an RIP tour as well. So there is so much that they are always adding and changing. It's hard to stay on top of it. So today I kind of put together all the information that I could find and all the information and reviews and advice that I have to put together for you to hopefully make it the best spooky night of the year for you as well. Let's start with the basics. So Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is a separately ticketed event. So if you're familiar with like Mickey's Not So Scary event, it is a separate ticketed event like Disney does with the parties. However, unlike Mickey's Not So Scary, this is a hard close and then reopen. If you've been to Mickey's Not So Scary, they give you a wristband and you get to kind of just stay in the park, or if you're a day guest, they kind of just slowly push you out as the new one starts. This one, the park closes, they set it up and they get ready and then it reopens. So it is basically you have to leave and then come back in unless you have a certain ticket, which we will get into. They also have specific nights that it goes on, and as the season goes on, it gets busier. So this isn't a full event that happens every single night. It doesn't happen sporadically though either. It's generally Wednesday through Sunday throughout the season, starting in late August through early November. Each season does change with the dates and then also the hours. They also add more as each season goes. For instance, when it first started, Halloween Horror Nights was known as Fright Nights. It lasted 3 nights only with 1 house. Now it's 48 nights with 10 houses. And I remember when I first started going, it was open till midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. Now it's always open till 2 a.m. Also, it used to only be Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and then started adding on extra nights as the season went on. Now it's Wednesday through Sunday till 2 a.m. So it just keeps growing, just keeps getting bigger. However, with that, also gets much more busy and much more popular. It started out as something that was always just a popular event to something that is the premier event that is just the busiest thing you can go to. So let's talk about what advice we can give you so you have a successful and fun night as well. Before you even arrive, you should have your ticket for the night. And we're going to talk about all the different ticket types. First off, don't buy your tickets at the gate because it's going to be a waste of time waiting in that line. And secondly, it might be sold out for that night, especially the ticket that you want. A lot of the tickets, even this year, sold out early. And a lot of them don't know if they're coming back, if they're going to be doing more. It's just become a very popular event where it's getting harder and harder to go. Also, ticket pricing changes every night because of the crowds, and they base the tickets based on what their expected capacity or expected attendance is going to be. If you're looking and trying to figure out what night you want to go, I always recommend looking online at the ticket prices. If you see a night that's going to be, say, $110, another night that's going to be $89, you know that maybe the night that's $110 is going to be a little busier. So maybe stick to the quieter night. Same thing with Express. If you're looking to add Express to your ticket, and the Express Pass works basically that you get 1 Express per line per house, and you can go do them all in one night if you like. The Express Pass is generally shorter, not guaranteed any time. It's not like a 5 to 10 minute wait. They like to say it's half the wait of the standby. Generally, it's less than half of that. And every night it's different, depends on who is merging the lines. But you could do almost all the 10 houses if you do have the Express Pass. And those prices also fluctuate based on the park capacity and the park attendance for that night. So you'll see as you go on in the season, September, not as bad. All of a sudden you get into Saturdays, busy. You get into October Saturdays. those express passes are over $200, and that is a price that is on top of the ticket already to get in, not including obviously parking and food and merchandise. So it's going to add up to be a pretty pricey event. Pretty pricey. Pooh. Oh, lots of peas. All right. So for the tickets, there are so many different types, starting with single night tickets. So single night tickets are sold for that specific night. So you have to pick which night you want to go when you buy your tickets. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to buy a ticket and I'll go one day in September. Unfortunately, you have to pick your day because it is based on a different price. And same thing if you want to add Express. So Express doesn't come with the park ticket. That is a separate ticket to purchase on top of it as well. So remember that when you're looking, if you want to buy both, add those two numbers together plus taxes and fees. There's also, this year they did, which has already ended, a premium Scream night. I'm curious if they're going to be doing this again in the future and if it went over well on their side. They charged over $300 per person to go in, and it started the night before opening night, and it included some food as well. And it was basically that you got a preview to the event and guaranteed lower wait times as well, not as busy. So it'll be interesting since they're trying this one out, what else they try in the future. If you're looking to go more than one night, instead of buying 2 single night tickets, you might want to look into a different pass. So they have numerous passes, such as the Rush of Fear. Now, the Rush of Fear pass is a pass that allows you in the first few weeks unlimited to the event. You do have to pick your start date now that you want to go. So the sooner you get it, the better, because if you buy it later on, you might have to wait a week to actually start it. I know I like to buy my ticket as soon as it goes on sale, and then also buy the select what day I want to go as the first night of the event. So the Rush of Fear is generally the first few weeks, however, will not include any dates in October. You won't be allowed in. And these passes also allow you to add the Express option if it's available. There's also a Frequent Fear Pass. The Frequent Fear Pass will let you in every night of the event, except for Fridays and Saturday. Frequent Fear Plus will let you in every night of the event, except for Saturday. And then Frequent Fear Ultimate will allow you in every single night. All 48 nights you're allowed in. Once again, when you purchase the pass, though, you have to select what date you want it to start, so you have to make sure that it's available. Personally, I like the Frequent Fear Plus. Fridays are just easier to go. I like that. Saturdays are terrible because it's always busy and it's always full of a lot of kids, because that is an easy night for parents to just drop off their kids since there's no school the next day. All these passes now allow you to add Express if available. This year, it's sold out extremely early, and there was no guarantee for them to come back as well. And I like getting the pass with Express just because if you go numerous nights like I do, it will be worth it. As I mentioned, in September, a single night ticket could be about $80-something, and adding Express on a Sunday night would be about $140. So you're thinking about how much you're spending on one night. Well, for me, the Frequent Fear Plus with Express comes with all that. Yes, the Frequent Fear Plus with Express was over $900, but for me, going around 16 times a season, no lie there, actually went 16 times last year, it comes out to about $50 a night. So it is a good bargain if you want to get your money's worth. So it really depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to go one night, if you're looking to try to hit all the houses, maybe if you're like other people that some of my friends like to go one night but only want to do 1 or 2 houses, so Express doesn't make sense. So really, they have a ticket for anybody's needs. There's also, if you're looking to maybe go early and not try to avoid the crowds and come in early, there is the Stay and Scream option, and you could do a Scream Early ticket where you could participate in Stay and Scream. Let me explain that further. So the Scream Early ticket will be a separate ticket you buy on top of your ticket to get into Halloween Horror Nights, allowing you into the park at 3 o'clock. So if you don't have an annual pass or a day ticket to Halloween Horror Nights, this is the ticket for you if you want to get in and start your day early. So you get in the park at 3, and then at 5 o'clock, they will close Universal Studios. You will go into a corralled area called Stay and Scream, and they'll be located around the park, and there'll be team members all over letting you know where you can go. And each corralled area will allow the group to hang out in there while they let the day guests leave the park and set up for Halloween Horror Nights. And the perk about this is your ticket is already scanned. You don't need to go through the front entrance. And they're going to let everybody in that corral to a separate haunted house. And then you could start your day early before the guests even start coming in the front of the park. They usually have up separate areas around the park. For instance, in the past, they have done New York and that whole area will be roped off, and then you'll hang out in this corral, and then they'll line you up for different houses in there. So if you go to that one, just ask the team member, hey, which one will this allow us into? And in the past, they'll tell you, hey, this will go into Beetlejuice or Ghostbusters or whatever the big houses are. And they will line you up. So you get to go into those houses with little to no wait as they just opened. Also over by the Springfield area in The Simpsons, they'll probably do another area over there, and they'll also let you into those houses too. So this is a great way to start your night early, knock out some of those big houses without really a wait time. In the past, I have friends do this without Express, and they were able to do 3 or 4 houses with the stay and scream just by knocking them out early. The downside to this is it's still light out, so it's really you're not getting the full effect. The good side is you're knocking out those big houses because later in the night, they're going to be probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours for that house that you basically walked into. There are other opportunities too if you really want to go all out. The RIP Tour. Now, the RIP Tour is their version of a VIP tour, and they offer 2 different types. You could either do a group one or a private tour. The group one, they'll place you with other guests, and you will have a VIP RIP guide who will walk around basically in I guess it's like nurses scrubs, doctor scrubs. They wear scrubs, and they will walk you around to every house, and you'll start off with a little reception. They'll have a Cafe La Bamba with some light food and a cash bar, and then they'll walk you around to every single house, and you're guaranteed to do all the houses, shows, scare zones, and then also get some fun background information for each of them as well. And it's a great way to do, hey, we have one night to do it. We want to do it all. Express, we're not going to do. Let's just knock them all out within 6 hours. And they'll walk you through every single one, which is pretty great. Prices are pretty high, and then they range depending on what night they are available. And then also you do need to buy your ticket on top of it. And then also gratuity is not included with the price. It's not required, but if you have a great guide, take care of them. There's also a private one you could do, and this one you have to call Universal for pricing, and they will offer a private tour where basically you get a guide and you get to do whatever you want all night. So if you want to go alone, or if you want to go with up to 10 friends, you could split the price, and you could basically say, hey guide, I want to go and just do the Ghostbusters house over and over all night. You could do it. That's what you want. You got him. You have the guide till 2 a.m., till closing. Your tickets are not included, but so you will have to pay for those separately, but you have a private tour all night where you get to basically do the ultimate night at Halloween Horror Nights and do whatever you want. So that's a great way to do it if you don't mind throwing a few $1,000s down. Now, if you are a Halloween Horror Nights buff like me, or if you are too scared to actually participate in the event at night, they have a Behind the Screams tour that they do where it's called Behind the Screams, Unmasking the Horror, and it's a daytime tour of the houses. So this is with the lights on, with no actors in there, and they will have a guide walk you through and show you the set pieces, show you how they do the scares, show you all the design elements and the storyline, things that when you were in that conga line at Halloween Horror Nights, you probably don't really get to see. They offer 2 different types of tours. There's the 3-house or the 6-house tour, and the houses are based on whatever they're going to be doing that day. So there's no guarantee. So you can't walk up and say, hey, I really want to see these 3 houses. Unfortunately, it is at the guide's discretion and also at Universal's and whatever contracts they have discretion. Also, for photos and videos, certain rooms and things they won't let you take pictures or videos of, just for they want to keep their secrets going and want to keep all that inside because this is a behind the scenes, behind the screens tour. But this is a great way to get to see more of those sets that you might not realize. It's fun to get to see them during the daytime and the lights on, and then come back at night and then get to see it full effect of how when the lights turn off and all the special effects are on and the actors of how they really come to life. Now, this tour ticket does not include park admission or admission to Halloween Horror Nights. It's a completely separate event. You check in at the Blue Man Group area, what used to be the Blue Man Group, or as I remember it, Nickelodeon Studios. Rest in peace. And then you check in over there, and they will walk you in the park and then walk you back out to do these tours. These are a great way to experience it and do something a little additional. They do also sell out very far in advance since they are a pretty cool experience. Universal also offers different packages with the hotel, so I always recommend checking with your travel agent or going to the Universal website. If you're looking to do a few days at Universal, they will offer different packages during the Halloween season where you can stay at usually Cabana Bay or one of their hotels that they like to theme up as well. Cabana Bay always does a fun time theming around their hotel for Halloween, so you have that full Halloween experience. Also, if you have a Universal Annual Pass, the Premier level, which is their highest level, it comes with a one-night ticket to Halloween Horror Nights. So that's a great perk if you're just going one time, or if you're just planning on going one time in the season, maybe upgrade to the Annual Pass with the Premier just so that you get your one night. They do ask you to reserve it in advance, and it is subject to blackout dates. So you are only able to go on certain nights. So if you're thinking, oh yeah, I'll get this, and then we'll just go maybe a Saturday in October, there's no way they are letting you in a Saturday in October. They're probably not letting you in many days in October just because it is those peak times. So it is subject to only certain days that you are able to use this. But it is a great perk to have. Not to mention that Premier Pass comes with Express After 4. So also a great perk. But now that we got that boring part out of the way about tickets, let's talk about the details of the night. So what time should you arrive? Well, this depends on how you want to do your night. So if you were thinking, well, we'll get there at open, we'll go right in. Well, that's going to be already setting you up for failure because it's going to be a lot of traffic. If you don't know, Universal only has that one parking area where you park, and then you have to go through security at City Walk, and then you have to walk over to Universal, then you have to wait to scan your ticket to get in. That takes a long time. So if you are planning, hey, we want to start our day and get there early, I would suggest trying to get there early and getting over to Universal around 4 or 5 o'clock, probably already be parked by that time. Go to City Walk, have a dinner, start carbo loading before you go in and start drinking for the night, and then go and start your day. So if you have your ticket, go do the stay and scream. Get in the park. Eliminate that hassle of having to scan your ticket and waiting in that line. Or hang out maybe at the Dead Coconut Club. So for those of you who don't know, for the past few years, Universal's been doing the Dead Coconut Club, which is the Red Coconut Club transformed into a Halloween overlay bar located at City Walk on the upper level. And this is open usually around 4 o'clock every night. They do close some nights for special events or if they have a buyout. So just check the app before you go to make sure that it is open that night. But always a great way to start your night before you head into the park. Or head to somewhere at City Walk for dinner and then hang out at City Walk, grab dinner. You're already past security and all you have to do is scan your ticket to get in. They will start letting you in once the park is clear. However, that could change. So usually they'll close the park around 5 and closer to 6 they'll start opening up. They will do an opening ceremony every night. And that is when they have the actors come out and they do a whole thing. However, it is extremely hard to see unless you're pressed up against that gate. And people will wait against that gate to be one of the first ones in. But you have to remember, anybody who's in for Stay and Scream kind of already beat you in there. Also, if you're looking to go in, remember there are different peak times. So really, if you're thinking between 8 and 10, the park's going to be very busy because that's when everybody is already in the park. That's when everybody's enjoying the park. And that's when people won't be leaving. So you might want to start your night a little bit later, which is great because I could suggest 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. if you could stay awake. The park isn't going to be as busy and you could hit a lot more houses at that time since a lot of people will be leaving by that time anyway, and you can enjoy the last hour. So you might want to think, do I want to start my night early and how long will we last, or do I want to start my night late and kind of shift the whole timeline later? Maybe do a dinner at City Walk, relax, and then go in after it gets dark out. That's what I generally like to do. I like to wait till it gets dark. The scare zones are great. The houses are great, but your eyes still haven't switched over from the sun, so you're kind of going from the bright to the dark. So definitely it is a different experience if you enjoy the in the fog at night or waiting until it gets dark out. So it really depends on what you're interested in doing. So I would base your time around either starting early or starting late, but either way, give yourself plenty of time with that parking and then also security and then also getting in the park. Once you get in the park, 10 houses spread out throughout the park. Always check the Universal app for different wait times as well. So the wait times are going to vary throughout the night. If you notice at the beginning of the night, a lot of the ones towards the front of the park are going to be busy and the back of the park are going to be empty because as soon as people get in, they hit the first one they see, which is usually whatever's by Despicable Me. And then the back of the park, they don't want to schlep to the back of the park. So I always recommend doing the opposite. Everybody's going to the front, head to the back. As people finish the front and head to the back, head to the front and kind of look at that wait times and go. Visit the streets. A great thing to do is always just grabbing your blinky cup and sitting on a bench and just watching the characters scare people. It's just fun to watch them constantly lurk around the shadows and you know it's coming and then getting different people and going, ooh, is that person going to get scared? Yeah, they got them. So it's always fun to just sit there on the streets and watch. Obviously, experiencing the streets and walking around them are fun, but it's also fun just to grab a drink and watch. The Blinky Cups, as I like to say, are their souvenir cups they do each year. Every year has a different theme on them or a different logo, so I always have to get my cup every year. And then they usually offer discounts at the bars, too, for refill. So if you're going more than one night, it is actually worth it to get the Blinky Cup, because if you come back, it's usually much cheaper as well, or you get a larger pour or double shot. They do different specials at different bars. They also have shows at the Halloween Horror Nights, as well as the Death Eaters over in Diagon Alley. Also, rides are open and generally not terribly busy as well, to help break up the night and also help spread out the crowds. And in past years, they've done a lot of different food options, a lot of different theme food. These booths do get very long, and you will see very long lines at a lot of them, and that usually means that this is a popular one, and they have something really cool, and the lines usually go very slow. Last year, we waited for The Last of Us, food rations, and the ravioli about 30 minutes. Was it great? It was fine. Was the can cool? Yeah, the can was cool. Yes, we kept the can. So it is one of those things that it is more of that novelty of getting that fun food option. Some of them are great. You obviously have to get your Twisted Taters or your pizza fries, your staples that go into Halloween Horror Nights that every year you have to get. Have to start making sure you're sweating, holding your Blinky Cup, eating your Twisted Taters. It's just one of those things. We do it every year, and we love it, and we will do it for years to come. There's also the Tribute Store. So Halloween Horror Nights will do the Tribute Store. They do now seasonal tribute stores. However, it did start with Halloween Horror Nights. So there is always a different tribute store, which always correlates with one of the themes for the event, as well as just changes every year and has different rooms, specialty merchandise. It does get very busy towards the beginning of the season. As people start seeing the tribute store more and more, it does get a little less busy. However, this is a great place to go to check out all those specific Halloween merchandise. However, they will have a lot of the same merchandise over at the front shop at Universal, as well as over in the Universal store over in City Walk as well. So if you're like me and you like to wear your Halloween Horror Nights shirts every year, you can get it out before you even come into the park and quickly change so you can come in and be fully geared out for the night. Well, I know I threw a lot of information at you, but here are my do's and don'ts for Halloween Horror Nights. Do get your tickets in advance. As I mentioned, always buy them beforehand. You can get them online, and you could save them to your phone as a QR code. You could print them if you like a physical ticket for some reason, but you probably do that with your airport boarding pass too, so you're just that kind of a person. But get your tickets in advance. But just don't expect to do it all in one night without Express. To do all 10 houses without Express is extremely hard, so don't get your hopes up that, hey, I'm coming in, I'm going to do it all. The easiest way to maybe do it all is to do Stay and Scream and stay till 2 a.m. I've had friends that have done that before. However, don't expect to do everything without Express. Do make a game plan. So prepare before you go. Check out that map. Say, hey, I really want to hit these few houses. Because if you only say, hey, I'm going to hit whatever house I see, you might miss out and go, oh, I really wish I hit this one. Have that game plan before you come in. Know what you want to do. Don't go to the first house you see unless it's a short wait. A lot of people will do that one. And do use that app to check the wait times. So you always want to check that app. They're constantly updating it, and you will see how the guest flows around the park and see, oh, this one just dropped. Let's head over here. But remember, if you're heading from one side of the park to the other, by the time that you get there, everybody might have the same idea. So make sure you're kind of within that vicinity so you're not running back and forth through the park. And don't touch the scare actors. They won't touch you. You don't touch them. Well, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you enjoy your time at Halloween Horror Nights. I will see you in the fog. Thanks for taking a ride with Average Joe Orlando.
You made it! I knew you would.
Is everyone okay? Hope you still want to open an account.
Say cheese. See you later.
Thanks, everybody. You were brilliant.
At this time, gather up your personal belongings and take your small grubs by their grubby little hands as you exit. Thank you.